Chantilly Lace, and the Big Bopper.
A talented musician and beloved son, was tragically taken from this world at the young age of 28. Born in Sabine Pass, Texas, he was the oldest son of oilfield worker Jiles Perry Richardson and his wife Elise. The family soon moved to Beaumont, Texas, where Richardson excelled in academics and sports, graduating from Beaumont High School in 1947. His passion for music led him to become a radio disc jockey while studying pre-law at Lamar College. Richardson's career took off with the success of Chantilly Lace, but his life was cut short during the Winter Dance Party Tour on February 3, 1959. The chartered flight that was meant to bring him and his fellow musicians to their next destination tragically crashed shortly after takeoff. The loss of J.P. Richardson, along with Buddy Holly and Ritchie Valens, left a void in the music industry that can never be filled. Their untimely deaths serve as a heartbreaking reminder of the fragility of life and the impact that music can have on the world. Richardson's legacy lives on through his music, forever immortalizing his talent and spirit. With the success of Chantilly Lace, Richardson joined the Winter Dance Party Tour starting on January 23, 1959, on the 11th night of the tour, February 2, 1959, they played at the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa. That night, Holly chartered an airplane from Dwyer Flying Service in Mason City, Iowa, intending to fly himself and his bandmates, Waylon Jennings and Tommy Alsop, to their next tour venue in Moorhead, Minnesota. The musicians had been traveling by bus for over a week, and it had already broken down twice. They were tired, they had not been paid yet, and all of their clothes were dirty. The chartered flight would allow them to avoid another arduous bus ride. Arrive early before the Moorhead show, do their laundry, and get some rest. Local pilot Roger Peterson of Dwyer Flying Service had agreed to take them. J.P. Richardson was suffering from the flu and was complaining that the bus was too cold and uncomfortable for him. So Jennings voluntarily surrendered his seat. The Clear Lake show ended at around midnight and Holly, Valens, and Richardson drove to the Mason City airport, loaded their luggage and boarded the red and white single-engine Beechcraft Bonanza. Peterson received clearance from the control tower around 12:55 a.m. on February 3, 1959, and they took off, but the plane remained airborne for only a few minutes. It crashed at full throttle shortly after takeoff about 5 miles outside Mason City in the middle of farm country. The reason remains unknown, but Peterson may have lost his visual reference and thought that he was ascending while he was actually descending. The right wingtip of the Bonanza hit the frozen ground and sent the aircraft cartwheeling across a cleared cornfield at approximately 170 miles per hour. Holly, Valens, and Richardson were thrown from the airplane on impact, and likely tumbled along with the wreckage across the icy field before the wreckage of the aircraft came to rest against a barbed wire fence. While Peterson's body remained entangled in the wreckage, the bodies of Holly and Valens came to rest several feet away from the wreckage on open ground. Richardson was thrown approximately 100 feet beyond the wreckage across the fence line and into the next cornfield. All three died instantly of head and chest injuries. Richardson was 28 years old. The following is a transcript of the external examination of J.P. Richardson. No autopsy was requested or performed. The body of Jiles P. Richardson was clothed in a red checked flannel shirt and light blue cotton pants. There was no jacket or overcoat on the body. In one hip pocket of his trousers was a billfold containing his name and other identifying information. The head was badly mangled and misshapen. The skull was split open transversely at the supraorbital ridge, and at the vertex. The brain was almost completely eviscerated. The face was flattened and crushed on the right side and not identifiable. There were several deforming fractures of both arms. Across the middle phalanx of the second left finger was a laceration. On the right thigh, extensor surface, was a laceration 8 inches long, while further down on the leg was a large defect including a compound fracture. The left upper medial thigh had a transverse laceration 8 inches long, while the left midtibial region showed a small laceration at the site of a compound fracture. The consistency of the chest was soft due to extensive crushing of the bony structure. Internal injuries were not appraised because autopsy was not done. Fingerprints were taken of the deceased for purposes of identification. The personal effects of Jiles P. Richardson are as follows. Cash $272.53, less the coroner's fees of $11.65, for a total remaining of $260.88. 1 gold wedding ring, 1 small gold-colored flat key, 1 pair dice, 1 guitar pick, 1 black billfold containing numerous miscellaneous receipts, cards, Texas driver license, musician identification cards. His body was released to the Wilcox Funeral Home on February 4. J.P. Richardson was laid to rest at the Forest Lawn Cemetery in Beaumont, Texas on February 5, 1959.